Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot my hat.
Forgot his hat, ladies and gentlemen.
What am I going to do?
Here, just going to have to go with it.
I'm going to do it without. I'm going to do it topless tonight.
There you go, man. There you go.
Bill Apter. How are you, Doctor Chris?
I'm well, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm wonderful. Willie's feeling good, brother. So I got a question.
All right.
What are they going to do? It's actually a rhyme. What are they going to do with our boy Drew? The other night, he was on a Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
One of the most passionate interviews I see. He displays anger better than almost anybody.
Yes.
Days. He has gotten to such a pinnacle of his career in terms of the mic work. And he's at that space where there's so many roads to go, but he can't seem to get the big one done. So are they going to screw our guy Drew? What's going to happen with him?
Screw is in what? What do you mean by screw?
Just kind of mess things up in the direction with. I don't know if they nobody's ever asked me that question. It's a good question. Mess them up. Are they going to, a screw job somewhere where, he's not fitting in properly with the Orton and the LA Knight and the AJ Styles and the Codys and all that. He's on that level, but yet I don't know what they're doing with him. He's already, Seth Rollins beat him again.
Yep.
So where do you take him now? What do you do? If you're the booker, I'm coming over to you and I'm saying I'm Drew McIntyre and I'm sick and tired of not knowing what you're going to do with me. Where are you going? What are you going to do with me now?
Okay, so this is what my suggestion would be with Drew McIntyre. All right. So
I like his accent, guys.
Thank you. So here's what I would do. So I already had a plan for this particular championship. So if the person in the plan does not come, this is what I would do. All right. So I would have a battle royal. I would make the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal actually mean something. this year, and I would make it to become the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. And I would have Drew McIntyre win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal and subsequently dethrone Gunther. If there's any one person that's legitimately looks like they can dethrone Gunther and there's some story there and he lost at SummerSlam, here's his opportunity to redeem himself. If there's one person who can dethrone Gunther, to me, it would be Drew McIntyre.
Now, the fans, when Drew was face-to-face with the World Heavyweight Champion Seth frickin' Rollins, the fans were cheering for Seth frickin' Rollins. So he goes into the match against Gunther, and we're back to that old question again then. Who's the heel?
Gunther would be the heel. I would turn Drew babyface.
I think so too.
Yeah, I would turn Drew babyface again. I think this is a nice touch to his character. This brings an edge out to his character. That was needed. It was necessary. But I do think for now, I think you turn Drew babyface again and have him have an edge. Still not really care about appeasing the fans, but still get cheered, and still not have still have like a nice edge to him. Not like a cookie cutter baby face, but still like a mean, rugged baby face.
Yeah. Okay. I could, but because right now he's kind of on that borderline. A lot of the fans don't know that they like Drew McIntyre, but the past 2 or 3 weeks, his interview style has gone up exponentially, as they say. Every week he's a little more angry. And when he was watching Seth come into the ring, you could see he was cooling off just a little bit so Seth could do his words. But man, he was so freaking hot. And I think it might be, sometimes the real person's frustrations, the real the inside of, and psychology wise, this will probably tell you this, but sometimes that inner you comes out in the character. And maybe this is something that is truthfully feeling, is that he's angry because he's just not getting to where he wants to get.
Sure. And you said Seth Rollins. He was toe-to-toe with CM Punk. Is that
CM Punk? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he did a pretty good job going toe-to-toe.
I did say Seth Rollins. That's correct.
Yeah, no problem. I think he did pretty good, man. I think he did, especially someone to the caliber of CM Punk, mic-wise. Here's the thing, man. With CM Punk, Drew was in there and he was confident. He looked confident. He looked poised. Anyone who's going toe-to-toe on the mic with CM Punk, who's doing a duel in the ring on the mic with CM Punk, you can put people in there and they won't be very confident. They'll be a bit fearful because they feel like, CM Punk, he's really good. He's one of the best in the business, and he has the ability to dress you down with his words and emasculate you. But I do think that Drew McIntyre was confident and poised, and he looked pretty good. He
did, but again, the fans now in this scenario were CM Punk.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way that they're shaping it. I mean, Drew McIntyre, he's gonna he threw some heel, kind of heel mannerisms, heel verbiage in there just to make sure that, CM. The point is to put CM Punk over in the segment, and they did a good job with that. So Drew McIntyre, he said what he needed to say. He threw some heel, verbiage in there to put CM Punk over. Man, it was a good segment. I liked it.
Yeah, and like I said, I really appreciate Drew McIntyre's whole attitude, being angrier. Now, this brings me to another segment.
Sure.
On the same show, and it was not with the accidental Seth Rollins. I don't know how I did that, ladies and gentlemen. But we're talking about Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley here. Rhea Ripley was such a master also of interviews that same night. A master of interviews there. She came out, and for the first time, we found the fans cheering her in a more fan favorite type of style, not the Rhea Ripley that comes out with Judgment Day and we all go like, she's really cool and all this, but this was a different tone to Rhea Ripley, and I absolutely loved it. What did you think of it?
I'm open to it. We'll see. The jury's out for me. We'll see what they do with it. They haven't done a good job with putting a good story with Rhea Ripley as champion. I don't think, she's been a champ for 9 months now. Almost a full year. She won last year at WrestleMania, and WWE has done an awful job with really putting her in a good storyline to really make her feel like a legitimate champion. She's a legitimate superstar. I mean, she's a standalone superstar. She's one of the few superstars that doesn't need a title to be over, and I'll say that about her. I do think the title makes someone more over, but she doesn't need the title to be over. She's like she's definitely not a comparison to The Undertaker, but she has that Undertaker type of ability to be over without the title and make the title look better.
Sure.
Add more prestige to the championship. So I will say
they've got her locked in Judgment Day. I mean, this is
I think that's a good way to say it. I mean, I do think she's locked into Judgment Day. I do think that I do think it's holding her down. I do think she needs to break away from Judgment Day because Judgment Day as a whole hasn't helped her. I mean, it hasn't helped her increase her stock. It hasn't gave her a legitimate, angle or feud. She's had competitors, but not a legitimate angle. I do think that it's about time for her to break away as a babyface. I do think it's time. It's time for the Judgment Day to break up as a whole. Honestly, I think the R-Truth thing is a really fun injection in Judgment Day, but it's kind of like it's comical at this point. I can't take Judgment Day serious because of R-Truth, but R-Truth is helping Judgment Day simultaneously because Judgment Day was so boring and one-dimensional for so long. So. I
will tell you something that R-Truth at this point in my book, when I'm watching Raw, I can't wait for him to come on. I enjoyed the whole character. Not only is it entertaining, it's just it's good. I mean, it's really good. It's fine. He's finally hitting a stride after being away for such a long time that he rightfully deserves. He's a terrific guy. I know him really well, but this is like the peak of characterization for him. Did you see the video that they did with him?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was fabulous.
R-Truth is like, he's like the cat with 9 lives, man. He always finds a way to reinvent himself. He just the little Jimmy. The
Little Jimmy,
the ladder match, when he was in Money in the Bank and Kane was like, "You're not even the match," and he was like, "My bad." The Brock Lesnar segment when he calls Brock Lesnar to chuckle, causing Roman Reigns to chuckle. Like the dance break with Carmella, like the 24/7 stuff in the very beginning when he was, feuding with Spud with Drake Maverick.
Yeah.
I mean, like he does so many things over and over again to reinvent,
and they're all good.
Yeah, I mean, like it's all comedy. It's all hilarious. It's all comedy. It all works. I was discussing this in a previous show. I'm like, if there's one person who don't have to worry about job security in the WWE, it's R-Truth, because he's just one of those people who's just like the company guy. He's like someone who's been at a company for like 25 years, who you love to see. Hey, there's Mr. Bill, hey, Mr. Bill, we love Mr. Bill, Mr. Bill comes in, hey man, I got some donuts for you, Like it's just that's how R-Truth is. He's got job security. We love Mr. Bill. He brings us donuts and coffee all the time. We're never going to let him go. You know what I mean? So that's how R-Truth.
They got to pair him up. They got to pair him up with Tozawa somewhere down the line. I think in terms of comedy.
Yeah, that would be funny. Here's my thing, man. Even if it's like a banana peel type of deal, man, I would give him something. If it's I think what I think you should do, man, is what would be funny if you reformed Awesome Truth. Which was the truth, which was our truth in the midst.
Right.
They actually, for those who don't remember, they actually had a Survivor Series main event match against The Rock and John Cena, man. So they actually they were used pretty good at one point of their careers. But here's the funny thing: I think you should reform Awesome Truth. That should lead to a WrestleMania match. And I think the payoff for this should be R-Truth beating R-Truth and The Miz beating Finn Balor and Priest for the tag team championships at WrestleMania, man. I think
now you brought up my next topic, Damian Priest.
Yeah.
What's going to be with the Money in the Bank match?
Yeah.
Already, where is he? I mean, I know I'm asking you a lot of questions, but these have been going through my mind all week, and I keep wondering every time he's going to cash it in, forget it. It doesn't happen. Mm. So is this going to happen? Could cash it in actually at the Rumble?
Yeah.
Really think about it. Yeah.
His expiration is what, July? Money in the Bank was
something like that. But I don't see anybody else right now for him to the Rumble would be a good spot because it's the fatal four-way there, so that could be a good spot for that. Maybe I definitely I don't think he's strong enough.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I wouldn't cash it into Reigns. I don't. Out of all of the investment that you've put in Reigns' streak and title reign, to me, to end the streak on a cash in would just not be good. I do think that you could. I would save it till after Mania. I mean, like I do think Priest and Finn Balor should lose the tag team championships at against the Awesome Truth. But what you could do though is you could have the Awesome Truth beats Priest and Finn to open night one, and then you can have Seth and Punk be the main event in night one.
Sure.
And then you can have Priest come back at the end of the show and then cash it in at WrestleMania and have that big WrestleMania rub.
Well, I still don't know. I think that if they did it at the Rumble, it wouldn't be over Reigns. It wouldn't be over Orton. It wouldn't be over LA Knight. I think the weakest link, and he's a great wrestler and performer and everything, the weakest link would be AJ Styles.
Yeah, I wouldn't have AJ Styles beat Reigns, though.
Yeah, no, I would. Well, anybody can pin anybody in that match.
Yeah, but again, I wouldn't have Reigns. I wouldn't have Reigns' title streak.
I agree, but I'm just saying that would be I mean, I just keep waiting for this to happen on TV already. Yeah. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, he has 6 months really. So July, I think, is you have a year since after you win it. I think
maybe it'll just expire.
That would be.
They've never done that. They've never done that.
That would be interesting if it just expires after a year.
And he has to win it again.
Yeah, he has to win it again.
Oh, man, write that down.
That would be horrible, though, man. That would be such a waste of the Money in the Bank contract if he did that, man. I know. You know, it would have been cool if they had Backlash in Puerto Rico again, man. I know they're having it in France this year, right? It would have been cool if they had it in Puerto Rico again because that would have made sense. In May, right after WrestleMania, it's in Puerto Rico. He would have been a babyface. He would have cashed it in that way. I think that would have been really cool. Unless there's another event coming in Puerto Rico between now and July, they could do that.
Well, I want to see it expire and see what they're going to do with that.
No, I don't want to see it expire. I do not want to see it expire because one of the fun things about the Money in the Bank is that, it's the thrill of the cash in. And that would be such a lousy, just kind of anticlimactical way of just saying, here we go. It's July. And then,
And the last two guys up there are Damian Priest and LA Knight. Priest has got Knight's got
no, but the crazy thing is that, or what you could do is you could do it. No, but that wouldn't make sense because it renews every year though. Why would you have it expire if it renews every year?
Well, you actually, if it renews, so it has to expire you're saying that it just rolls over.
No, I'm saying that it expires if the person doesn't have it anymore. And so then you just do another Money in the Bank match from a previous, cash in or not, you're still going to have a Money in the Bank match.
We don't know the exact ruling if the Money in the Bank.
Yes, we do. They said that you have a year. You have a year to cash in.
Since that can change. You know that.
They never announced it. So we do know the rules. We do know the rules. They told us the rules. So you have a year to cash it in. I just wouldn't be a fan of that because the thing is, it's going to renew anyways. Out of anybody that is expired.
Oh, I've got the ridiculous angle of the year then.
But what you got?
He cashes it in on Rhea Ripley. Feud in the Judgment Day. There you go.
Bill Apter's off his rocker, ladies and gentlemen. Rollo with the $9.99. It must be the hat.
Hey, Roland Curtis is here.
So Biggie, to piggyback off of Mr. Apter's point about the quote, enter you real frustration coming out in McIntyre's promos. This acting technique made Dominic Mysterio's quote, deadbeat dad promos his best work so far. Yeah, I do think Dominic's deadbeat dad promos was his best work so far. One thing that I'm very, very tired of though is the heat where Dominic just stays there and just waits. I think that is way too expired. Talking about expired.
I think it's run its course already.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think it's just there's nothing that comes from it. It's just and the thing is, it's like, who gets that much heat on AEW is Christian Cage. And Christian Cage, I don't watch AEW much. I haven't watched a full episode on AEW in a long time.
Well, you need to do it. It's your job.
But it's not my job, actually. It's my job to watch Raw. But at the same time, I do watch clips of AEW in spurts, and I found out who the devil was. I watched World's End. My friend and I, we split and watch pay-per-views and stuff like that. But as far as the one person who I really, really like in AEW right now is Christian Cage, man. I think he is killing it in AEW. And he gets so much heat. I stay glued in AEW when Christian Cage is getting that much heat. And he gets so much heat from the crowd. And like Dominic gets like go away heat. Christian Cage gets like authentic, like we hate you type of heat, and he's
old school hate.
Yes, absolutely, old school.
He's real.
He does a really good job. And one thing that Christian Cage does that I respect the heck out of, he talks through the heat, and he does not allow the fans to phase him. Like he gets so much heat that he just, but he does a veteran job being able to squelch that heat by like, I'm not letting this phase me. I'm going to keep going. You know who else, man? I don't know if you remember this guy.
Well, wait, before you get off him,
go ahead.
I want to go with this. I want to stay on this topic.
Yeah.
He has eclipsed Adam Copeland at this point in terms of that heat power. I'm not talking about babyface and heel or anything, but I thought when Adam Copeland was going to be in there, it was going to be like his best work, and it would kind of eclipse Christian Cage. But Christian Cage is just knocking it out of the park.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that he's, at this point in their careers, I think that Christian is definitely more over than Adam Copeland is. That's for sure.
Do you think that do you think that Adam Copeland might be disappointed that he is not on the level that he was when he was in WWE?
I'll say yes and no. I do think that he came in to pay it forward. I do think that he, on the scrum, he was talking about he's excited to, commence new feuds with people that he's never wrestled before. I do think that that's legit. I do think that we will see, I do think the fact, he also mentioned the fact that one of the reasons why he did make the shift is that the WWE didn't want him to wrestle as often. They didn't have anything for him to wrestle often, and he still was wanting to get in. He was gone almost 10 years. And for him to, for WWE to book him in spot shows, once every 3 or so months, if you've been gone for 10 years, you're itching to be in the ring frequently. So I don't blame him for that. Actually,
you want to be on TV.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't blame him for that, actually. And so I do think that he's going, he legit wants to feud with other people. He doesn't really care the level that it's on. But I do think that there's a sense of pride in a WWE Hall of Famer to go from being just a Hall of Fame guy, main event at WrestleMania last year with a triple threat with 2 years ago. Last year was Roman and Brock. Well, it's 2024 now. Last year was Roman and Cody. Year before that was Roman and Brock. Year before that was the triple threat, Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman Reigns. And he still had big spots. Judgment Day was kind of a step down for him, but again, I do think Edge wanted to pay it forward. I really do.
But he's not. You mentioned about wrestling more. That's not happening in AEW. If he's there Wednesday nights, Friday, Saturday, I mean, it's kind of like the same. They don't do any spot shows. WWE still does spot shows.
Well, I do think that Edge didn't want to do the spot shows. He didn't want to be the one who comes, every few months. He is involved in one of the big, AEW doesn't do the best with developing storylines very well, but I do think that he is involved in one of the biggest storylines right now. The two biggest storylines in AEW was the Devil storyline and then Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. So he does have a prominent spot in the AEW when it comes to storyline. So I will give him that. He's there.
In terms of AEW storylines, I watch AEW 2 to 3 times a week. I watch their shows, and I'm looking at their roster, and they have a lot of really great talent. But if you ask a typical fan on the street who's in AEW, what name are they going to come up with? It used to be they had a dozen guys that you could just roll off the top of your head and say who they have. But their roster is all very good, but they're not these household names that they had even 6 months ago.
Sure. I think probably if you're thinking household name, it's probably Sting. I think that's their biggest household name at this point.
Yeah. What about what do you think about Sasha Monet going there? Do you think it'll make a big difference, or do you think like Adam Copeland, it'll be great for the first few weeks and then it kind of levels off?
That's Tony Khan booking 101, man. It's shiny new toy gets dull, toy gets put on the shelf, enter in next shiny new toy. I mean, that's Tony Khan booking 101. I don't think Sasha Banks out of anybody will be different will be a different type of format or a different type of plan than that. I think that she'll be a shiny new toy, for a few weeks or a couple months, and then she'll be lost in the sauce with all the other people who did that before. So
let's say they got a major star from the top roster in WWE. Does that star go to that same I'm here 2 or 3 weeks later?
You talking about as far as people who came to WWE?
No, people. Let's say they had a pick right now. AEW, somebody's contract is up in WWE. Major star goes to AEW. How do you make that person shine? Is it that WWE machine luster that is gone at that point?
I think that they get the rub. I think they get the rub off the defect, initially of like, yeah, I defected from the WWE. That's a rub in and of itself initially, but it all boils down. Yeah, initially, but it all boils down to how they book them. I mean, that's what, that's the reason why Rusev is lost in the sauce. Keith Lee is lost in the sauce. I mean,
Rusev being lost in the sauce,
absolutely,
is such a mistake.
100% agree. Yeah, absolutely. It's a travesty how much Rusev is lost in the sauce right now, and it's really unfortunate. Yeah.
WWE would have made I said this before on our show, that WWE would have made him a Batista. They would have done something like that.
I hope so. I mean, WWE isn't the best with building stars either, honestly. At least as of recent. I mean, I wish they would have. I wish they would do something that level of Wardlow, but he's lost so much stock, and plus he's in the Undisputed Kingdom, and they're already they're already kind of sowing some discord with Adam Cole saying, when I get healed, Wardlow's going to win the title and give it to me. So possibly that's sowing discord of Wardlow turning babyface again, perhaps.
Maybe.
But otherwise, that was just.
Otherwise, he's a background player, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. So.
Our guy Roland is a great question.
We got one more super chat, and we're gonna get up out of here. We got Roland $4.99 super chat. He says, to piggyback off another Mr. Apter point, if you ask the typical fan on the street, who is the biggest star in WWE right now, who will they say? Rollins always
Hulk Hogan.
Right now,
Hulk Hogan. Well, most fans know the company.
No, I'm talking about he's saying current.
I know. Most fans will say, is Hulk Hogan still there? John Cena. They might say John Cena.
They probably would say John Cena. Yes, they probably say John Cena. Yeah. I think they would say, is John Cena still there, or is Hulk Hogan still there?
Yeah, I mean, they're not. I don't think they would say Cody, although he's established as a major star there.
Say Roman Reigns.
Yeah, probably Roman Reigns, but I think they would. The typical on the street person, not the wrestling fan, would probably say John Cena.
No, he said typical fan on the street. So
typical fan on the street would know what's going on right now. So yeah, Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns, yes, absolutely. Yep, I think Roman Reigns. All right, Bill Apter, let the listeners know where to find you, my brother.
It's not down there, but it's at Apter One Wrestling. And one fan wanted to know about this Sportskeeda sweatshirt. I had this made myself, but if you're interested in getting one, I can talk to the people that made this and see what we can do. So you can tweet me at Apter, APTER 1 Wrestling. That's the number 1. You got it there, Dr. Chris, on your keyboard?
Got you, man.
Yeah, so pay attention to this, and maybe we can work something out. So you don't see the whole thing. It says Bill Apter down here.
Nice. At Apter One Wrestling, right?
I had that made up with the blessings of Raju Dasgupta and the rest of the... Dasgupta! In this corner, I will be February 3rd. I will be in Syracuse, New York at WrestleCuse, WRESTLE space CUSE. I'll be there with Kurt Hennig. I'm sorry, not Kurt Hennig. Kurt Angle. I miss Kurt Hennig. Think about him all the time. Be there with Kurt Angle, Sergeant Slaughter, and a dozen more legends, and I will be doing my one-man show there. So look up WrestleCuse, CUSE.
Yes,
Syracuse, New York. I will be there February 3rd.
Banner. Is it on the banner there?
It is. That's it. So if you have an inquiry about this, or if you go to Pro Wrestling Tees and you go to the Bill Apter shop, there's a whole bunch of them there, but not this particular shirt.
Very nice. Very nice.
What about you, Dr. Chris? What do you got coming up?
What do I have coming up, man? I don't know. There's the Chillicothe show. Did you?
Right. We'll both be there.
Yeah, I'll plan on being there. I plan on being there.
We'll both be there. That's in
March, right?
March.
Yeah.
So we'll plug that next week. I'll have all the information.
Yeah, that's in March. Yeah.
Major match. Matt Riddle against RVD first time.
Yes, indeed.
First time. By the way, just real quick, here somebody said, ask Bill who the better brawler was between George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. Washington would have won had he not worn that wig. Jefferson pulled the wig off him, used an Abdullah the Butcher spike, cut his head, pinned him.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah. I didn't photograph that match. I was in the stands for that one.
Very nice. This guy right here is Bill Apter. I'm Dr. Chris.
And this guy right there is my closet.
Yes.
But it's also Dr. Chris.
Yes. This is Unscripted. Have a good night, everybody.
Wait a minute, Dr. Chris. I want to show them something.
Okay.
When I point to Dr. Chris, there's the closet.
Yes.
We're off.
Very nice. Have a good night, everybody. Solo.